I'm in Tennessee right now. Just got done visiting Rich Froning, and I've been traveling around a little bit, meeting with some different people. But this video, you're going to see me with Naudi Aguilar, and we do a lot of MFR. I wanted this video to be shared with you guys, and I want you to be able to hear the different things that he's sharing with me. I also want you to hold your maybe personal feelings for Naudi Aguilar or for FP, and watch it and be open-minded and think to yourself, is there going to be something of value here? Is there something that I can learn from this? The power of MFR, the power of myofascial release is incredible. You can heal yourself. Can't heal yourself all the way from everything, but from a lot of nagging, soft tissue injuries, you can really help yourself out a lot. So I want you to watch this video. I want you to listen to this video, and I want you to absorb what's being shown. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye. I've had a little bit of pain in the back of the heel over the last couple months or years since I've been running, but then I just have like pain literally right there.
You got a similar foot to me, man, in terms of that flatness.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about you? See the other one? Just to kind of compare and see what it look like.
Working on my
Yeah, this one's got more curvature here. Let me see the other one. Yeah, crazy.
So working on my hamstring has seemed to help that a little bit, but it's rare that I get hurt. This thing's just been bothering me for
It'll start to happen more as you start getting closer to, like, from personal experience, as you start getting closer to like 55, 54, right. That's when the collagen begins to dehydrate more, hardens, and then once you lose that elastic capability in the fascia, that's where injuries happen more. So it's good that you're getting in and working on this right now, bro. You got in at the right time to start trying to figure this shit out, because usually guys wait until their 50s for that to happen, and the amount of compressive force that happens after the fact makes it, I wouldn't say irreparable, but it just makes it way fucking harder to figure out.
Yeah, it also brought my running way down too. I was doing like distance stuff before, so
yeah, good. And that's
I got that out of my system.
Yes, good. And so if you can begin to drive down the volume and just focus on getting more intentional repetitions with everything that you do, and just making sure that you're always focused on improving something, that's the emphasis, and that you're actually driving through, that you're actually doing things to improve it. That's going to be a big part of it. But I can kind of see a little bit what's going on there. You know what? I think what I'm going to check and see is how the quality of MFR that you're actually doing. Like, I'm going to actually put my elbow on you and see if you're actually doing it to the same degree that I would want you to do it. Because usually everybody does myofascial release in kind of their own way. Yeah. But sometimes it's not how would I put it? It's not as intense as it probably should be, or it's not as deep.
Working on yourself, it's hard to, right?
Yes, exactly. Come on, let's go. Let's come on over to the pads.
It's hard to induce that much pain on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. In terms of areas in terms of priority of releasing, what areas do you find that you work on the most?
Right now it's been like a lot of shins, and then I just started getting into the hamstring a little bit.
You've been getting into this spot at all?
No.
So I need you to get into your anterior and posterior 45. This is what I call probably the most fundamental releases that you can get on your body. Just mainly because, like, when you walk,
that angle seems to be important too, the way you're pushing, right?
So like, you know, when you walk, like, your hips tend to want to rotate and shear a little bit, and shear. And so it's probably not, you're going to tend to have one hip that hikes over higher than the other. So essentially what you're going to have is a pattern overload of that rotation with shear on one side while the hip is hiked, while the other one's going to have that same exact problem while it's dropped. Does that make sense? So you're going to want to release both sides to kind of help assist you with that. Has anybody told you that you have leg length discrepancies by any chance, or no?
No.
Okay, I'm not sure if you do. I'm just wondering if that's just data that I wouldn't have the tools to figure that out yet. Anyway, this spot right here, Mark, is what you're gonna have to start getting into, like, big time. It'll roll all the way up. I just call them the anterior 45. It's kind of like where I would suspect that your tensor fasciae lata and your vastus lateralis would intersect with each other. And so we need to kind of unbind those tissues there. But this is the kind of feedback you need to kind of create. And look, see, I'll drop some of the intensity. Can you kind of still feel the consistency of the pressure that I'm putting there? Like,
absolutely.
It should kind of feel like a Charlie horse. Is that about accurate?
Yeah.
It's like a consistent Charlie horse, but you can minimize how much Charlie horse is there. So let's see, I'm dropping the tension. Yeah. But if I really want to, like, signal it, obviously I'm going to put more pressure to make sure that your body kind of gets the message of what I'm trying to send over.
Makes you start to sweat.
Yeah. A little bit higher. but I really need you to get into the anterior 45. This is really everything that you do after the fact. Does that make sense? So the idea is more that this is going to help, but really what's going to do most of it is what we're going to program in when we get out there and start doing correctives. So the way that we're going to apply this specific technique, we can do it with a bigger ball. I prefer a smaller one just because it's going to pinpoint a little bit more. This one's probably, like you were saying, it gets you to sweat. This is probably going to really get you to sweat. But the position that you're going to find yourself in is here. You have to make sure you get the leg off the ground. So we're going to aim to that same point I was just palpating. You get there. Obviously support your neck. You can use that for neck support if you want to as well. But you just get the leg up off the ground here. Keep the knee slightly bent. I don't want you to lock the knee out all the way. You're gonna just keep the knee slightly bent and then and just allow yourself to kind of like move forward and back through the thigh. And I want you to see if you can replicate the same sensation that I created. This is kind of what got it started for me, bro. When I started doing myofascial release and I intuited it the way that I did, I think it kind of like set me on that better path.
I got some beef tallow on me, so
Don't worry about it, bro. You're good. Relax, you're good. Oh, go ahead and
Good
bring
for
your,
the mats, bro.
yeah, we'll clean
bring
them
this
after.
guy this way.
Yeah, bring that right foot over.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's gonna hurt pretty bad. Now check out. This is how you can make it to where it's less painful. Crawl your body up that way until your left TFL region hits the ground. You're already perfect. You're perfect there. That's perfect. Okay. Just keep that hip on the ground and just lift your left leg off the ground. So the grounded leg, lift this guy off the ground.
Oh, I'll lift it off.
Yeah, but just bring your right foot down, right foot forward.
Oh, right.
So right foot right here, bend the knee, bend the knee, bend the knee.
Oh,
There you go. Now from there, now what I need you to do is get your weight on, because you're like this right now on top of the ball. See if you can get your leg like that. And if you find that to be more difficult, just slide up this way and get the ball lower on your thigh. You need to work on this like bad, Mark. Like this is like big for about 2 weeks. Eventually you'll develop a pain tolerance for it. Okay. So that's going to be the anterior 45. That's going to be the spot. So it's more the front side of the vasculateralis IT bend. And now I'm going to have you lay down face down.
That was wild.
Yes. And then I'll have you turn out. So we were working on your right leg, correct?
Left leg.
Your left leg, yes. And this is the one that you have the problem with the foot.
Yep.
Go ahead and turn this leg out a little bit. Turn this knee out.
Like that way.
Beautiful. So this will be the posterior 45 coming up. We're going to angle it at this point right here on the back side. This guy right here. And just bear with me, man. It's going to hurt pretty bad, but you'll get through it. So I used to put this kind of intensity upon myself when I would do myofascial release for like 3 to 6 hours a day. I had nothing else going on in my life, so I would just crank on this shit.
I feel like into the knee even.
Yes, yes. You can zoom in even right here. Look at his muscles tweaking out. There was a time I was working with the guy that was a neurosurgeon, and he's like, "Man, there's like hardly any like nerve flow going in here. Like, why the hell are my muscles all contracting here? Go ahead and see if you can let this relax a little bit more. There you go. My bad on that. I want it to slide off. Everything good?
Yeah.
As good as it's gonna be?
Yep.
You're gonna need to start getting right into that same spot. The way that we'll align ourselves will be like this. And you can use that small one again.
Yep.
We'll just lay down here a little bit. Beautiful. And then bring your right foot in a little bit closer to me. Now turn this knee out. You can put that on the ground. Put that guy on the ground. Now turn that knee out. Beautiful. And the idea is when you want to be as comfortable as you can possibly be in here, as disengaged as your body can possibly be.
So you can hang out.
Exactly, bro. How long? What's the longest that you'll hold a myofascial release for?
Maybe like 2 minutes.
That's not enough.
Okay.
So when you get into spots like this, bro, I need you sometimes to be in there for like, let's say you're running less, spend more time here. If you got an hour and a half you're going to train, you go in here, you spend sometimes, bring it forward, hold that right there. Go ahead and slide your body back that way just a little bit.
Like my hips. Right?
Yeah, exactly, right there, beautiful. You kind of feel how the hip starts dancing, how the muscles start tweaking. Exactly. I want you to kind of hold that. And even when you practice this, bro, this spot, I would suggest staying on it for like 20, 25 minutes.
Got it.
It takes a while sometimes and just constantly move it around, shuffle the fascia around, shuffle the tissues around. And the reason you want to do that is because essentially it's like you're putting pressure on a sponge that pulls the water out. But then when you kind of slightly get off of it, it expands other parts of the sponge that then effectively enable you to keep putting water into that. And it just takes time.
first started doing this stuff, I like fell asleep on the ball.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was so screwed up.
What do you
It was in my hip.
I think you told me about it. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, try staying alert. But the thing is, it's going to trigger a parasympathetic response. You get what I mean? When you're prompting more, I think, and this is my position on it, that there's this concept called resorption. So imagine that there's like a spectrum between resorption and ossification. So essentially, when ossification is tissues turning into bone and calcifying, resorption is the exact opposite. When you're asleep, especially in the deepest REM sleep, your body is going through a state of high levels of resorption. And so I believe that water, you know how you've probably heard people talking about the fourth phase of water, right? I wonder if the communication between the fourth phase of water and the extracellular matrix are what signal to the brain to put us into a parasympathetic state to then effectively be able to rest. So with that in mind, if this is making you more fluid, within time, is the water going to signal to the brain it's time to relax? You get what I mean? That's obviously like moving. You don't have that issue where you fall asleep doing this or whatever, right? Don't. You don't want to have that, but just be mindful.
I just did it that one time.
Yeah, exactly. But no, now what I need you to do when you're practicing this is spend time like 15 minutes on some releases. If you feel like it hasn't released, you stick around in those places until you actually feel the fucking release. Sometimes it can take, bro, I've been on spots for like 15 minutes before, almost an hour. I shit you not. This left oblique. I used to not be dude. There was a time where I used to do like MFR on my IT bands. I would use acupuncture needles. I had like 20. You remember, Johnny, when we were back at that spot in Hawaii? I'd have like 25 fucking needles on this spot, and I'd just keep it there for like an hour and a half until it would fucking release. That's before I learned how to like really figure my shit out. Now I don't really need to. But if I ever need to release my left oblique, before it even releases, it might take like about 40 minutes before it actually releases. So the thing is, when people do MFR, it's not about like super intense for 45 minutes. It's more like just slight pressure, consistent pressure, and give it the nurturing so the water can kind of pull in there. The tempo that you're operating at is fucking perfect because you're kind of moving it around a little bit. That's exactly what you want to do. Nice. Those would be the main two that I would tell you that I think you should focus on. I would imagine, go ahead and lay down face up again, and then we'll do some resistance work. They're bones. So the idea is the place that you want to release the most and you want to create the most contractile reflexes out of are the places in the bones, so you can maintain that resorption in those areas. Nice. So that would be it. That one's really, I won't even cover it, but that's going to be, I think, another spot that you'll want to get into. Let me just check your tibia real quick.
I try to work on these a bunch.
Do you work directly on top of the tibia itself, or like where I'm pressing, or no?
I usually work a little bit more on the outside.
Like here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's maybe, yeah, I guess you could work on that.
The inside I have not even really, it feels hot.
Yeah, you're in a really, you have a really strong, I wouldn't release this tibialis anterior, brother. The reason I would tell you to do that, right there, bro. Hold that, don't move. Yeah, you have almost nothing here. You should not be, I would not release that. You have pretty high calves actually. So I would probably be going after these regions here. I'd probably be going after attacking your hamstrings more. You say you only spent about 2 minutes in there, right?
Right.
Fucking crank in there a little bit longer. Spend a good.
Yeah, working here and working in the hammy
which makes sense.
Seems like it's been
because
helpful.
that foot that seemingly likes to plantar flex a lot more. So if it was me, I would probably the way that I think about it, that's how I would approach it.